Oh, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I thought I'd share with you some of the stuff we've been talking about. Because one of the fun things about being a prepper is you try to come up with different scenarios, and you figure, how are you going to get through this particular event when you're by yourself, you're with the family, you're in town, you're at home, what time of the year. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we like to think about. And but one of the things that they all come down to is the big one. And the big one will be what? And that's what I want to talk about. And the thing is, because people say, well, what would happen? We could have invaders invade the United States. We can have the UN come in. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And I've mentioned that I'm half Chinese, and so I've kind of done some Chinese research. And one of the things that always keeps coming up when I look into Chinese history is Chinese one culture or society or whatever you want to call it that goes up to the top. It's a powerful, and then it goes back down. And it's something that just continues. It rises power and then it loses power. It rises and it loses. And what happens when it loses, they've tried all kinds of different things. I don't want to get into it, but, like they got warlords and now it's communist and, they've had all kinds of stuff. But I don't want to go into that. But one thing that they always do, it always comes down to this, is they divide China up. It's powerful, they divide it up, and then when they divide it, it loses its power. And and that's something that's carried out through history. And the United States, we don't have thousands of years history. We only have 242 years or something like that. History. So, and then the thing is, so we don't have that much to go on how we would react, when we, take the tumble. We lose the powerful country and it goes down. We don't have anything to go by on what's going to happen. So I'm just kind of guessing it's going to be divided up. And even the Romans, it ended up being divided up too. So I think there's some sense into that. Now, this is the interesting part. Is that's as far as I've gone when I think about what really bad things could happen and how can I prepare for that. That's where getting gold and silver and stuff like that is you're preparing for that kind of catastrophe. So but what was brought to my attention the other night, we sit out here and we talk. Remember, that's why I make my videos. Just as if we're just all sitting around just talking, and we're just throwing out ideas. Some are pretty cool, some are pretty stupid. But hey, we're having fun. What's the deal? But I had someone mention that another thing that could happen is once the United States comes down, it takes its fall, the rich, powerful United States comes down, it might bring the world might start falling down along with it. And I loved it. because I thought, well, hey, there's no, we got nothing but bad things to look at, and I thought, well, there's got to be some kind of positive something somewhere. And the thing is, I've talked about the United States is really special. I mean, we've got some weirdo snowflakes, communists, all kinds of people to try to put us down, and they don't think stuff out fully. And so, but the thing is, the United States, the American people, are unlike any in history. Now, well, one thing you hear me talk about is illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are the same as they've always been in history. Now, the immigrants that choose to come here and go through the steps to become an American citizen, they're not the same. The mindset changes. And so, in other words, these illegal immigrants were victimized. They allow themselves to be victimized. They bring that attitude with them when they come. But once they do it the legal way, they leave that attitude back where they came from, and they come here because they want to be part of this powerful nation. And we talked about that. What makes this a powerful nation isn't the government. The Constitution sets out the rules. It's not the government. It's we, the people, that make America what America is. So the thing is, so in other words, when this global whatever happens, and see, we owe, well, I don't know if we owe, I don't know how much we owe, but a lot of countries own part of the United States. And I've talked about when the United States goes to another country to protect these big corporations, they're doing it as a New World Order. We're the strong man for the New World Order. And it's not like, and I made a comment about Chiquita bananas. If they choose to have their plantation down in Central America and everything gets crazy down there and they lose their plantation, hey, that's a business risk. I'm a businessman. I don't forget I'm a capitalist. That's a business risk. But no, what's going to happen is the United States military will go down there and they will, under the impression we're protecting American interests. And it's not. It's not my interest. I mean, I'm an American. You're an American. It's protecting Chiquita bananas. So, in other words, it's corporates. Our military is protecting corporates. Corporates, for them to do well out in other countries and stuff, they want a new world order to make things happen because our laws don't apply to those countries. So they want laws that will apply, so it's easier for them to do business in other countries. I don't give a shit. So, like I say, you go by that country, because I believe each country's got their own way of doing things. You go by their rules or you don't play. Okay, and but anyway, so if these countries that own a lot of stuff in the United States are thinking, well, we're going to protect our investment, they're either going to do it through bringing in the UN, or they're going to do it by bringing in troops. Okay, what's really cool, when the United States falls, if it's bad for the whole world, when they bring their troops over here thinking they're going to take a chunk of the United States, they're going to have problems back home. So they're going to have to deal with back home, and they're going to have to deal with the American people, not the United States government. The American people. Now they deal with the American government. They've never tried to mess with the American people. So it's going to be a little bit of a different type of a situation. So now I'm thinking a whole lot better. I'm thinking the best thing that could happen is a world catastrophe, something really bad. And that could be something, I don't know, like the U.S. dollar could drop, and because it's not nothing stands behind the dollar other than everybody thinks it's worth something, so that could do it. But one of the things I really think is cool is because we got these snowflakes, socialists, communists, progressive type people, and they're thinking they can override our Constitution. And they're having a hard time understanding that President Trump got in office by 60-some% of the population, and so and out of that, some 60-some%, I'm sure many of them are seeking true leadership, not something that like Obama came out, well, I'll surrender for you. I mean, this is why the Trump thing is going, and this is why the snowflakes are having an attack, and they're just flipping out and all this. I hope they don't get too eager about it. I mean, they might think we need a revolution, and then that would be a catastrophe for the United States, which could bring down the whole world. And like I said, it's the Constitution. They're going to be fighting to change government. I have no problem with changing government. If it's so corrupt, I have no problems changing it. But like I say, the rules stay the same. It's in the Constitution. So anybody that threatens the Constitution, I think, is going to be the threat. I talked about that 60-some% voting for Trump. I would say most of them kind of respect the Constitution. This Mike, NoStressMike.com.